Hey, everybody.
Hey,
Good
everybody.
afternoon. It's Christine and Beth from the Abundant
Hello.
InvestHer. We're joining you today to give you a little bit of background on how we came together to create the Abundant InvestHer and really some insight on why this is such an important mission to the two of us. So I want to start by just sharing a little bit about how this company came to be, how the idea came to be, and a little bit about myself and my background and Beth and where she's coming from to give you a sense of why we're in this, why you should work with us, why we want to work with you, um, to really set the stage for working together on our mission, which is to create abundant women investors and women living abundant lives. It's something we both feel really passionate about and we want for so many women. We believe it's our way of supporting this change in the world where the power, the money, all the goodness that women bring. When I say power, I mean like the feminine power and
Mm-hmm.
all of the beautiful ideas and inspiration and ways of being that women bring into the world. I really think there's a part of it that's largely around abundance. So, so here we are, and I would say I just want to start out by saying that we're both entrepreneurial. We've had it in our blood, I think, for a while. I've been practicing as an entrepreneur for a while. I had a marketing consulting business that I spun out after several years as an executive in tech startups, where I spent most of my career. And I went out on my own. I was marketing and supporting old clients and folks in the tech space. And I knew there was really something more that I wanted to do that was more meaningful. And so I began coaching a few years ago. And why I love coaching so much is because I've always loved supporting people, especially when I see the potential in them. And I think it's one of those things. I think we all have these gifts that we're born with, and the way I've just always been wired is I can see other people's potential. I really
I love
believe
that.
that. Thank you. I really believe that people can do anything, and we are living such a small fraction usually of what we can actually be doing. And we get to live in joy and we get to live in abundance. And I want that for as many people as possible. So I began coaching as a leadership coach. I do a lot of work around mindset, I do a lot of work around rewiring old patterns that don't serve us. We're so unconscious of them sometimes. I've studied meditation, I've studied mindfulness, um, and so that's what I bring to my coaching. And Beth and I, through a coaching relationship, became very friendly, and we realized that we had so much more in common, right?
Yeah. Tons.
we yeah we knew each other because we have girls that are the same age, and we both have kids, so we're both moms who've been working quite a bit. We both went to Boston College. Not only that, but we were both athletes there. I know that Beth has a teamwork orientation. I know she has a competitive spirit. I know she likes to she also sees the potential in people and loves for people to succeed. And I've seen that. I remember as a coach, I saw that when she was coaching our girls when my daughter made a try at lacrosse. And I think that, together with our backgrounds, it's such an interesting and complementary mix that we bring, because I bring this marketing and mindfulness and coaching to the table. And Beth has a background that started in finance and then moved into real estate. And then I didn't even mention the fact that we both have an interest in real estate, as real estate investors, and having a lot of experience with different types of real estate investments. So, Beth, what is it about your background that you feel like you're bringing to Abundant InvestHer?
Oh, that's great. Thanks so much for giving that awesome intro too around the reason why we started the Abundant Investor. So, as you just mentioned, my background was in financial services. After BC, I have to say that I was older than Christine, even though we're both at BC grads, we didn't even overlap. But after my career at BC, I went into financial services and I worked for Fidelity Investments for almost 12 years and then was in real estate for a really long time, over 15 years. And during that time, I started a lot of offices. I managed and hired over 500 agents, and really was hoping to get back into financial services or make a career change. I knew that I had more to offer. Real estate management served me well, but I was ready to do more. So I hired Christine as my coach, who was so awesome, who really guided me to think big, to really consider my vision and really what I wanted out of life. And lo and behold, almost surprisingly, my old mentor from Fidelity reached out to me and had an opportunity for me to get back into financial services. So, and that path put me along the road of life insurance. And I have a front row seat right now to how America's most wealthy families use life insurance to guard against taxes, to protect their family, to transfer wealth from generation to generation. And it was a terrific transfer in my career, growth in my career. And so, as Christine said, we've been friends ever since. And so, out for walks one day, Christine was talking to me about how she was using life insurance, and I was like, wow, that's really interesting, because it's very smart, because it's how the most wealthy families in America are also using life insurance. So we got talking about that. We got talking about how life insurance is an amazing way to fund real estate investing, which was something else we're both very passionate about. So here we are. We're mending our worlds of Christine's fantastic background in coaching and helping people see their big vision, and my background in financial services and being licensed to sell life insurance, to say, how can we get more wealth into the hands of more women and lift women up and give us our rightful seat at the table of building wealth.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
love that. And I think there's some, like, a lot has happened since the internet, and because we're all living in a modern world, there's so many industries that are so transparent that we may not have understood before. The
Mm-hmm.
inner workings of things like finance and many of, like, tech, many other industries are now more available to any of us. We can Google anything. And I think we both felt like insurance, especially life insurance, was one of those topics that still remained a little bit of there was a mystique around. How does it actually work? How do insurance agents get paid? I found it not super interesting, to be fully honest, fully
Mm-hmm.
transparent, because I really believe in transparency. um, it wasn't a transparent industry, and so when I was introduced to the concept of using insurance as the cash value of insurance during my lifetime, by some fellow entrepreneurs, I thought that is so interesting. I never thought life insurance could be used while I'm alive, and that concept was introduced, and it just got me thinking how much this industry is not clear to so many people. And I've always felt that women get to be in control of their finances, whether or not they are the lead in their household, or whether they're single or married or divorced or widowed. It's so important for women to be able to plan for their futures with finance, to understand how it works. Because here's the thing, if you're wealthy, your money is doing a lot of the work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's working hard for you. So those of us that are not the ultra wealthy get access to that too now. And that's really what we want to bring forward. And I learned that I could use whole life insurance as essentially like a bank for myself. And Beth matched that. She confirmed that by saying, that's exactly what I'm doing in this new position that you've helped me to find with my old mentor. And so now what we want to do is bring this forward in a way that's maybe even different than it's ever been done in the industry. We want to bring the level of service, the level of empathy and compassion and true, genuine care for our clients, along with all of the expertise on the financial side that we've learned, and
Absolutely.
show women in particular, and a few good men, the men can come along too, of course, um, how to use this and how to build wealth and abundance for their future, but also to access while they're alive, and then to be able to ultimately to pass down and create generational wealth. So there's no reason this industry can't become more transparent and open, and we think we're doing it in a way that's really different. I mean, just look at the two of us. We don't look like your typical insurance strategists.
Right, right. And it's so true. And it's what gets me really fired up is having managed realtors who by nature are independent contractors. The amount of risk they face by not having a retirement plan available to them, a savings vehicle, not having a mechanism to cover themselves, God forbid they were disabled or had some type of a chronic illness, not having all of those benefits that a typical like 9 to 5 employee has. And so I sat there watching their income have lots of fluctuation, looking
Sure.
at their the responsibility they had personally to save for the future without any easy way to do that. And I thought, geez, there's got to be a better way. And in learning about life insurance, it checks so many of those boxes
Mm-hmm.
for realtors, for small business owners, for coaches like Christine, who are also independent contractors. In addition to that, for those folks that do have a retirement plan available to them, like a 401k or a 403b, chances are that they're not saving enough money. Chances are that they haven't considered the fact that when they access those funds, they're going to be paying taxes because that was all pre-tax money, and that they may need some type of supplemental income that is tax-free
Mm-hmm.
above and beyond even what a Roth IRA could do, because a Roth IRA is a great vehicle, but it comes with limits. You can only put $6,500 in a year. You
Right.
have a period of time where you can't touch that. And it doesn't come with any benefit. God forbid something happens to you. So for your family, a death benefit. So
Right.
in having all these conversations with Christine, I'm fired up because I know this is so beneficial to so many people. It can kill so many birds with one stone. It can
Yeah.
provide safety. It can provide a tax free way to access money. It provides
Yeah.
generate opportunity for generational wealth. And as I said, I have a front row watching how really wealthy families are using this. And it's no fluke that people like Walt Disney and the Rockefellers and a long history of wealthy families have utilized life insurance to move wealth from generation to generation to generation. And we have the opportunity to bring that to everybody, to all wealth
Yeah.
levels.
Right. And I think like we haven't even talked about the fact when we talk about people saving for retirement and thinking for the future, the fact that look at the inflation that we're experiencing right now,
Right.
right? There's so many changes and there's so many things in life that are unpredictable. And I always say to my clients, the only thing we can all control is ourselves and how we react to things. And so what I say in that vein about the economy and what's happening right now where we have a looming recession, or some would say we're already in recession, is that you can control what you are doing today. And one of the incredible things that's also happening in the economy that I don't think we're all awake to right now is our deficit is growing so quickly. It is, I think, doubled in the last 15 years or so. It's incredible right now how much money the US government's in debt to.
It's over
So when you think,
$332 trillion, I think is the most recent number. It's
mhm,
just mind blowing.
it's
And that's
mind
trillion
blowing.
with a T.
And we think our taxes are high when they're in the 30s. Now, if you go back in history, the highest tax brackets were in the 90s, like no joke, 80s, 90s.
Let's
And
pray
this
we don't
was,
get to that.
yeah, exactly. And if we do, and your money is in a life insurance policy, it's protected from a lot of those. So that's, I mean, that alone is an incredible reason to start to put money into one of these types of products. And part of the reason why we did it. And then on top of that, if you are an entrepreneur, if you're, or any type of independent contractor, and you are running your own business, it's a really beautiful way to borrow money and to pay it back, where the interest, instead of going to a bank, is going back to you. And it's a tax write-off, right? You're paying your own bank back essentially. And that interest is now a write-off for your business. So we we love life insurance for so many reasons, and I'd say those are two of the biggest ones.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, I think today we want to hop on and talk a little bit about what you can expect from us.
Hmm.
What's driving us? What's our mission? We really want to empower women and the men in their lives to become educated so that they can, we can all be more in control of our future. We want to see that education lead to more wealth, more control, an awakening of what's available to us, not just what's been, sort of jammed down our throat all these years around you have to have a 529, you have to have a 401k. There's nothing wrong with those, but there's also a way to supplement that and maybe even change how we save. So
Right.
as an example, a 529 is probably not necessary if you have a properly structured life insurance contract that's high cash value that you can borrow for things like college and other things and pay yourself back and use it multiple times for many things. So what we're going to be doing in this podcast and throughout our Instagram account and on our website, which is revamped. It looks great. It's theabundantinvestor.com. We're going to be providing lots of information in ways that's easy to understand, that shows you the benefit, and that's going to always be tailored to your needs. So there's a plethora of tools we can pull off the shelf. We're not saying that we're going to just sell whole life or IULs or all this other kind of product. We're saying let's start with what's important to you, and that's where Christine is so good at helping you determine your vision and your goals. And based on that, that's the starting point. And then based on that, I will come up with a solution that is going to work best for you. And then together, Christine and I are making sure that you are well educated, you're identifying your dreams and goals, and then we're putting a plan in place to make that reality because it's available to all of us.
It is 100%. And I think you'll see that once you realize some of the benefits, other things will start to open up for you. You'll realize other dreams and other opportunities that you want to maybe invest in. So maybe you decide you want to buy a vacation house and you decide to rent it out part of the time. And all of a sudden you have cash flow that you maybe didn't expect before. And you can leverage these products to be able to create even more opportunities so that maybe you are able to buy then a second property, or maybe you buy the boat that you thought was 10 years
Mhm.
out, but actually it's not. One of the most challenging things I think in this midlife period is seeing people feel like they're in this, I talk about this with some of my clients that are here, that they've reached the top of the mountain, they've climbed, they've done all the right things to get uh accomplish so many things in their career, and then they're like, okay, so now what, right? Like, so now what, and what do I do? And they're just kind of plodding along, and they don't really see that they can have so much more. And we want you to realize that there's another mountain there for you if you want it. There's a way to really enjoy your life now before you get to retirement. So it's heartbreaking to me when people say, oh, when I retire, when I'm 70 now, right? Because we're
Mhm.
living longer and a lot of people are working till 70. Then I'll go on that Viking cruise, or then I'll go on that African safari, or even that trip to the West Coast. And I don't want you to wait till you're 70, because I want you to enjoy it now. Tomorrow is not promised. Your health is going to be better now. I want you to, like, it's a bit of YOLO, right? It's a bit taking from the younger generation, and like, you only live once, and go for it now. And we'll show you ways to do that so that you are continuing to save for retirement and for the years when you're not generating the same level of income, and being able to use some of the funds now, and pay yourself back. So
Mhm.
it's super exciting. I think it really changes the way you look at the world. And I think it is important to have for our clients, like we envision, Beth and I are both very growth mindset oriented. We're always open to learning. That's the same type of client that we'll attract. We see abundance instead of scarcity. We live in a world that tends to, if you turn the news on, it's 95% of it is scarcity motivated, right? It's what we don't have, what we should be afraid of, what's coming, in a way that is, um, keeping us from like living here and now. Instead, we're putting up the barricade, or we're putting up our armor to protect ourselves. And when you believe in abundance, like we do, you really believe that there's enough out there for everyone, and that there's always opportunity. And we've seen that. I think, like, we tangibly
Mm.
have realized that in our own lives. And there's this element of trusting that things are going to work out. So I would say that's the type of client that we're already working with as we have these calls and create the illustrations. We're having conversations like that with people, and we know we get to support so many more people.
It's so great. It's so great. I love it. And there's so many ways for us to get started with you. So if
Mhm.
you go to our Instagram page, in our profile, there's a link for a free 15-minute call with us for us to learn a little bit about you, for you to learn a little bit about us. You can go to our website at theabundantinvestor.com and sign up right on the front page to follow along with us. We have blogs there. We talk about life insurance for a lot of different reasons and opportunities. We talk about small business owners, recently divorced people. We'll be refreshing that all the time. So there's lots and lots of ways to work with us. We want to make it easy. We want to make this a journey that is enjoyable. We want to make it easy to understand, even though the industry tries to make it very difficult to understand. We
Yeah,
understand it
amen.
really, really well, and we will simplify it and,
Hmm.
again, customize the right solution to your needs wherever you are in your life right now, whether
Yeah, and
you're in
we'll
your
stay in
20s.
touch.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is
We'll
a
be with
great
you.
solution for anybody, whatever age you're at.
Yeah, and I think, it's important to say that we've seen insurance folks that sell the insurance product and then are never to be heard from again.
Mhm.
That's not at all our intention. Our intention is to have relationships with our clients, to be supporting you throughout further, other transitions in your lives, showing you how to use the power of these tools. And so the education will be there, but also will be there for you. And
Right.
I think that's a really important differentiator too. And it's just so important to us, and it's just who we are.
Yeah, and we are walking the walk. I mean, we have our own policies. We're
Hmm.
using these policies to do amazing things. So we are not only do we bring the experience, like with coaching from Christine's standpoint, and the licensure and the financial background from my standpoint, but we're also using these products to enhance our lives. And so we can speak from our own experience with authenticity, um, and and it just gets us really, really fired up to be able to share that with you, and to customize a plan that works for you, again, wherever you are in your life, whether you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s.
Yeah.
We
There's
have something that will be able to tailor to you.
Absolutely. There's case studies for every generation.
Mhm.
Um, so you can find us on the abundantinvesther.com. Also, as Beth mentioned, we have an Instagram page. Similarly, the Abundant Investor. We're also on Facebook. Join us there, and we hope to connect with you. Feel free to sign up for a free call. We'd love to meet you. Love to have a conversation around your needs and answer any questions. And we look forward to sharing so much more with you on this podcast going forward.
Great. Thanks, guys.